For those of you who saw my first official review of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix, I would just like to apologize. After sitting down and actually analyzing my own personal review, I've decided that I really didn't do this game justice and wanted to give it another shot. So, let's try this again. No, viewers, it's been about 11 years since I actually had a chance to play Kingdom Hearts 1 for the first time back during the PlayStation 2 era, and I'm happy to say that now that we finally have an HD remastering of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, which was never actually released here in the States until now, it is a well-received installment, and I would say it's probably one of the best remasterings that I have seen this year by far. Now, to go into a quick summary of Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, is that you'll be playing as the character Sora, and he basically goes on this adventure alongside Donald and Goofy, which are two of the King Mickey's closest friends, in order to travel to all these multiple worlds, fight against classic enemies, and team up with classic heroes of the Disney franchise, along with meeting Final Fantasy characters, which, for those of you who have actually been playing Final Fantasy from the Golden Age, not the age we're in now, you'll actually recognize a lot of these characters, and you'll even have the opportunity to fight against some of them. And really, over the course of the game, you're just going to be venturing to all these different worlds, unlocking their individual keyholes, which are basically like little portals that connect one world to another. And then you have to rescue the 7 Princesses of Hearts, which, when brought all together, will unlock the ultimate door to the heart of all worlds, Kingdom Hearts. And that's really all you need to know in terms of overall story. The gameplay is more of a real-time RPG hack-and-slash game, and you will be able to control all of Sora's actions. You'll be able to attack any enemy you want. You'll be able to lock on enemies. You'll be able to use magic spells. And it even carries a lot of RPG elements that would be quite familiar to fans of the Final Fantasy franchise. You'll be able to change Sora's Keyblades, which you will acquire over the course of the game. You'll be able to upgrade his abilities as he will level progress. And the main 2 AI character partners of Donald and Goofy kind of act as significant backup over the course of the game. Several times they will never leave your side until maybe the end of the game, in which they too can upgrade, and they all have special abilities of their own which can aid you on your journey. And as you go to each individual world on special missions, you'll actually be able to switch them out with other AI characters like Beast, Aladdin, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and so and so. And they too have special abilities and can level up just as well. There are a couple of extra side games that you could play, like being able to fly through on your somewhat gummy ship, which actually allows you to travel from one world to another. And in a real whole, it does still carry some of the minor flaws that Kingdom Hearts 1 did have back in its day. Like sometimes the camera is sometimes hard to maneuver, so it makes it hard to really be able to, kind of accurately fight in combat. There are a couple of platforming elements that some people have acknowledged, but for me personally, it was something I was easily able to adapt to. And overall, it did add a number of cutscenes that weren't present in the original version, which do shed light to events that will play a major part in future Kingdom Hearts games in terms of overall storyline. And there's even a number of secret bosses that weren't present here, which actually changed the gameplay up significantly, and in my personal experience, actually made the game a lot harder on its hardest difficulty than I remember playing in Kingdom Hearts 1. So that's really all you need to do, including for the main body of this remastering. Now, going on to the second part with the HD remastering of Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, these events take place after the events of the first game, and it basically follows Sora as he has to venture throughout this castle named Castle Oblivion, in which he actually has to use these cards to allow him to travel through in order to reconnect with his friends. Now, the cool thing about this story is that there are 2 parts to it, in which you'll be playing as Sora trying to reach his friends Donald and Goofy, or simply trying to get to the top of the tower, and you'll be playing as another side character who is a friend of Sora's named Riku, as he's really trying to travel alongside Mickey in order to find the light or something like that. Now, the thing about this particular game is that there is a card-based system, which you'll think is a bit tedious because you'll feel like it wasn't really needed. They should just play it the way it was in Kingdom Hearts 1, but I think adding this card system actually plays into the actual storyline, and I would strongly suggest that if you do plan on playing Kingdom Hearts 2, if they do make a 2.5 remix, then this installment will actually answer a lot of questions if you were to just play Kingdom Hearts 1 and then jump into 2. You're going to be a bit just disconnected, and this installment really shed light on things, shedding up what happened between 1 and 2. However, the final entry that they added to this Kingdom Hearts remix is the addition of the Game Boy DS exclusive 358/2 days. But unfortunately, this isn't really a game itself. It simply took all the cutscenes that were in that game and simply strung them up together to make about a 2.5-hour movie. And now, the best thing about this quality is that they actually did add voice actors instead of just simple dialogue text. But the fact that you only really get maybe 2 games plus a movie is a bit disappointing, and in a package kind of holds it back. It would have been nice if they had actually tried to just revamp the combat system. And the story alone doesn't even really center around Sora itself. It deals with Roxas, who will also play a very important part in the future Kingdom Hearts games, but in a whole, I thought the story was a bit unnecessary. However, it does answer a couple of questions, but that's just for a big hardcore fan like me. Now, for those of you who actually did play this when it did come out originally, I would strongly suggest you get this, because there is enough variety and changes to actually make the original 2 games feel a lot different than what you played before, and it does add some story elements that you may have missed in your time as being a Kingdom Hearts fan. And if you weren't able to play this when it first came out, then this is the proper time to jump on board and prepare yourself for Kingdom Hearts 3 when it does come out in a couple years, which is why, in a whole, I'm going to give Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix, to be nice, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. The strongest element is clearly the Kingdom Hearts 1 final mix. However, the next 2 elements that are part of this package do kind of hold it back from what it could have been. And with that, that is my review of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix. Now, if you like this game review, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track me in my future movie and video game reviews. And please feel free to follow me on Twitter or friend me on Facebook, and the links in the description down below. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.